Hello, hello, July 29th. The hotfix has come in, and the Doom Mocha Boss park the car in the garage meta is dead. As quickly as it came, it has vanished. And now we have to pick up the pieces, figure out how we farm this dogshit boss now that we don't get to AFK anymore. It turns out it's really the same. If you were comfortable, doing waves 8, 9, 10, etc. with the car parking meta, you'll be quite comfortable doing them now that you can no longer just AFK for 30 seconds. But I thought that since there was a big meta shakeup and now we're forced to deal with the boss as intended, it would be a very good time to just do some live commentary of a run. I'll do waves 1 through 8 and talk through all my thought processes and tips and tricks that I think make the encounter more manageable. Things get really, really overwhelming when we forget to plan ahead for what we know in the back of our minds might be coming next, but we're just like a little too overwhelmed, or we're not, honest enough about doing our little checklist in our head. So I'll keep harping on that as we go through the run, and I'll talk about what my checklist is, how I plan ahead for mechanics, so that I never get overloaded with a million things. Because as soon as you freeze up for one tick, you get hit by 900 attacks and you die instantly. So to avoid most of what makes this really frustrating, we are going to be focused on repositioning when it's appropriate, our inventory management so we know where our items are going to be so that we can get to them really quickly to flick to a grub or anything that we need to do. And we're going to be hovering our prayers when we know that certain attacks might be coming. Here's the inventory that I'm running currently. It's what I think is the best for me, and it makes it the most fun and the most manageable. I'm running Void with the T-Bow, and I'm using ZCB for my primary spec weapon. I'm using a Nox Halley for the melee punish because it allows me to stand outside of melee range. So on wave 8, where I'm dodging multiple balls and flicking between 6 different prayers, and also trying to do a melee punish to stop the charge, this lets me do it in the way that is easiest for me. Other good options to consider are bringing Ferocious Glove Switch and or a Scythe if you care about the damage for the melee punish, and feel free to bring whatever spec weapon you have access to or want to use. I think the ZCB is the best weapon for giving yourself the best odds of skipping the crystal phase on waves 7, 8, and onward, so I'm running the ZCB. I still think Dragon Knives are a very good option if you're looking for a DPS spec to beat the Roomba. Alright, we're going back in. The car park meta has been nerfed, so we're going to do a run here and show that it's really not very different anymore. It's still pretty straightforward. We're still focused on the same things. So I think one thing that helps a lot is establishing like a home base tile, or at least like a row of tiles that you know that you want to return to. I really like being 2 tiles away from him because it lets me very easily switch to my melee punish weapon, which is the Chally, and I don't have to move, so I can spend more time just thinking through my prayers and what's going to be coming next. This frees me up to do things like look at what color the boulder is, which will help us determine our prayers, and watch for his protection prayers to appear above his head and know immediately if I need to do a melee punish or not. So I'll be starting all these waves just sending a ZCB, and then we're going to wait and see what we get. We're just going to react to the prayers. I'm going to try really hard in this run to not do like any crackhead shit. I'm going to try to just stay very still where it's possible to show that there's not that much you have to do to catch the base mechanics. You're just watching for your prayers, and if you hit those little grubs early, you're making sure you run away. Okay, this is a blue boulder, so mage will be first. We dodge, and then we catch our prayers. So I'm always doing the same little sequence. I see boulder, I say, okay, what color is it? Then I get ready to look at the ground and dodge. And once I look at the ground and dodge and I know I'm not getting hit, then I catch the prayers. Okay, so blue, I dodge, I catch the mage, and then range after. We'll open with a ZCB. I summon Thralls until wave 6, at which point I do not summon them anymore because your Thralls damage instance on the boss is causing him to spit out more poison. And once we're on wave 6 and onward, after the arena has been cleared, I don't want to deal with it anymore. So for the charge mechanic, I'm going to be positioned right at his corner where the grubs want to come in. This will let me catch the melee grubs later on exactly where I want them and just one-tick them with my Dark Light. Okay, range boulder, move, catch the prayer. Okay, I'll grab this guy and we know it's a mage boulder, so I move, catch the mage prayer. We'll be keeping our death charge up. My divine's going to expire soon. Okay, range boulder. Wait. Dodge. Catch the range bear. I am always looking for a straight line here. So I identify a straight line, I shoot one, I go near where my orb is going to come out, and I proc it after my third attack. And then I just walk with the shield and catch the attacks. Mage boulder. So that's the hardest thing about this content, is walking with the crystal and timing it and knowing where your line is going to be. I always do 3 attacks. I attack the boss once, I proc the far away crystal, and then I do another attack, and then I proc my close one. That way it will spawn a couple ticks before the slams actually start. When you're catching these mage guys, you have to wait for your full attack to come off cooldown before you can attack them. So just making sure that you're giving yourself the right timing and that they're not leaking as a result of you like being on attack lockout. Sometimes I'll just kill them far away if I know something else is going to finish them off anyway. I didn't let that ranger get in quite close enough. Keep my death charge up, catch the prayers. Okay, here's a melee punish. Dodge, catch the prayer. Melee punish again. This is why I'm staying 2 tiles away, so I can always very conveniently do this. Dodge, catch the prayers. You don't even have to attack them again like I'm doing. You can just dodge and catch the prayers. You don't have to be, you know, making use of every single tick that you have every time. Boss will take 5 extra seconds to die and you'll stay alive. So up until wave 6, I'm always starting by sending my ZCB because I don't really care about saving it as a DPS option until we get a little bit later in. By the way, this damage threshold that makes him start charging is 75%, and we're going to care about that later on when we're trying to put boulders in specific places, so we're going to be watching his HP closely later. There's going to be something that's worth paying attention to here. I want you guys to look at how much little bonus damage we get here. 25 bonus damage. So that bonus damage comes from how long it takes us to let him sit in that shield charging phase versus how fast we kill him. So on these early waves, I'm like using my Scorching Bow with Rigor because I don't care about the damage, I just want to get through it. But later on, when we care about our DPS, we're going to be milking that phase a little bit and causing it to take a little bit longer, because if it takes a little bit longer, we can get up to 50 damage. Oh, I'm going to get fucked here. Ouch. We can get 50 damage extra that we don't have to do during the Roomba DPS phase if we let that charging phase take a little while and take our time to kill the grubs. So for the later phases where you're trying to DPS check the car, it's worth it to do that. But in these early waves, there's no mechanics that require me to have really good DPS, so I'm just killing him as quickly as I can. I'll clean up a couple of these extra grubs just so they don't leak, but we're going to kill him very quickly. All right, so next is level 6. This is when things change for us a little bit. And we're going to be adopting the part 1 of the old car parking strategy, where we want to place a boulder in a specific spot because it will still let us get out of one slam for free. And then we can just bring him around the side of the arena. So I'm going to make sure that I get a boulder attack when I'm on this X tile. So that means we don't want to proc his 75% threshold. So if I'm hitting really big here, I need to off him. Okay, so I need to off him. Okay, nice, we got our boulder. So move, catch the prayer. And we're in the shield phase. And I would like this shield phase to take a little while because I want to try to get that extra bonus damage. So I'm just going to be whacking him with the art light to stun him, but I'm not going to be trying to do big damage. So I don't have piety on, and I'm not, using a good weapon. I'm just going to try to reset his cooldown over and over. Okay, did we get the full bonus damage? Probably not. We got 26. Not great. Okay, so we still do this the same way. He explodes here. We stand on one of these tiles. We wait for the eye. We run up. And we use one of the things in the center of the arena. We want to make sure we keep attacking him as much as we can. Then we lure him one more time and use one of the ones on the side again. This is how it's always going to look. It's really no different than it was before. You're just a little bit less AFK. And you have to make sure that you're attacking him, keeping your DPS up. Okay, on my third attack, I would have procced that last crystal and I would have had a nice straight line going north to south. But we didn't need it. We had good DPS. What a treat. Wave 7 is the exact same wave. We're just doing it all again. So I'm thinking about his HP. If he spawns any grubs, I'll deal with them, but I'm looking for a boulder attack, and I'm watching his HP. Okay, there's my boulder attack. I wait for it to explode, I move, I catch the prayers. They're quite fast now. Oh, I offed myself, ouch. Maybe I catch these. Nice. Okay, we can just grab these grubs. And then I'll be arc lighting. See if I can milk any bonus damage. This is your best time to brew. And just try to double brew restore if you have a mage grub that's coming in, because otherwise you're going to be brewed down and it's going to leak. It's not the end of the world, but it would be nice to avoid it if we can. So I will just range pot, ZCB spec, go back over, catch the prayers, wait for the slam, go to my lore tiles. The eye is there, so I run. Find my nearest thing. I keep my DPS up until he slams. Good. I lure him one more time. I'll get hit here. Yeah, ow. I pathed like an idiot there. That's my fault. I didn't have to take damage there. If I was good. All right, we're on wave 8. Now things are a little bit different. Wave 8 is tough. Big power spike on wave 8. What I'm focused on for wave 8 is not putting my prayer on too early. That is like my big systemic mistake that I think me and a lot of other people seem to make on wave 8 and above. Okay, let's catch these grubs while we still have the chance before things get crazy. Okay, so I'm gonna move, then I'm gonna move again, and then I'm gonna put on my first prayer. Okay, we need to do a melee punish, so I'm gonna attack. I'm gonna move again, and then I'm gonna put on my prayers. It's a lot. It's very fast. We're gonna try to get him below 75% so that I don't have to take a third double ball attack. That would be nice. We didn't have to. Oh well, we have to. Move again. Okay, I was one tick early on putting on my prayer. So when that happens, if you're one tick early and you get smited, don't try to fix it by putting on the prayer that hit you when you got smited. You have to find yourself at the next prayer in the cycle. And that's what I did. So if that's confusing, go back and watch that again, because I think that's super important and it will prevent you from dying a lot. If you get smited, you have to just go next and catch the next prayer in the cycle. You can't try to get the tick back once you've lost it. It's over. Okay, DCB, T-bow, catch the prayers. Lure his ass, wait for the eyeball. I'm always attacking. This is really important. You need the DPS in this phase. You can't be running all over the arena, you know, missing 1,000 attacks. I'm going to ignore these grubs. I'm just thinking about my straight line. Okay, move, catch the prayers. Yikes. Proc the melee, move, catch the prayers. We took a little 16 because something leaked. Or maybe we got hit by the boulder smack. I'm not sure, actually. But that's fine. That's why we bring some brews. Things are hectic on wave 8 and 9 and 10. They're really rough. But now we're chilling. We're not nervous about this. We can catch our breath during this charging phase, and we'll just pot up again, and I'll switch to my T-bow, and I'll kill him in a couple hits. Kill him in one hit. Nice. So yeah, that's waves 1 through 8 with no car parking. I hope that was, you know, maybe a little instructive. Maybe it shows you that it can be done if you're struggling. I'm wishing you guys very good luck. Let me know if you get anything good. See you later.